Hello again and welcome back. My name is Rick Phelps and I am an action coach, business coach, and we are talking about understanding your economic engine. This session is on Cash is King. It's number 8, and for now will be the last. Every year, Action Coach runs a series of global events and regional events. Most recently, we had our BizX, which was normally our regional event, but this year it was global in scope. And it was a virtual event hosted on Zoom. And one of our speakers was Alan Mills. And he's famous for his quote, "Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, is cash is king." And he taught us for an hour on the importance of cash and cash flow. And in fact, Alan is famous for developing the cash flow story, which is used by all sizes and forms of businesses around the world. So an influential leader. And so I thought I would wrap this up with a little bit of an explanation around why revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. Kind of in honor of Alan, and because it ties things together nicely. All right. So let's look at a business and think about this revenue is vanity. Suppose we had two businesses, and one business had revenue per month of $1.1 million, and another business had revenue of $110,000. Which business do you think you'd rather run? Would you rather run the $1.1 million business or the $110,000 business? From a revenue perspective, right? And most people probably would say, oh, I'd rather have the $1 million plus per month business rather than the $100,000 a month business. And that's because of vanity. Let's see why that is. So let's take a look at the first business. We have $1,100,000 in revenue coming in, but the lion's share of that, $1 million, goes out in cost of goods sold, leaving the throughput dollars, $100,000, to pay the bills of running the business, right? And bills for running the business, we look over here in the operating expense bucket in the bottom right corner, we see it costs $90,000 to run the business and $10,000 profit results, since 100,000 minus 90,000 is 10,000, right? So, and this is not uncommon for businesses in the construction industry, for example, where most of the money, they build $100 million home, $100,000 of it is materials, right? So this compared to business two. Business two only has $110,000 in revenue, right? Only $10,000 of it goes out the door in COGS. So this is a business more like my business, right? Very low cost of running a consulting and coaching business, right? Same throughput dollars, $100,000, same operating expense of $90,000, same net profit of $10,000, right? So which business would you rather run? Well, the business that's least challenging is the one that's only making $110,000, because they don't have a lot of the issues around cash flow, which we'll explore here in a minute, all right? So revenue is vanity. These two businesses are, in fact, the exact same size from a staffing and complexity standpoint. Profit is sanity. They both make the same level of profit. Cash is king. Now, what does that mean? Cash is king. Well, everything we've been talking about in understanding your economic engine is really about developing your ability to generate cash, right? And it's at the constraint, that thinning down in the pipe that limits the flow of throughput dollars through your business, that dictates the rate at which your system generates cash. And that, per Alan, per Dr. Goldratt, per me, per everybody, that's the most important thing you need to worry about. Cash is king. Everything else is secondary. And so your ability to generate cash, absolutely paramount. Now, It's a little bit more involved than that, right? Because to generate revenue, unless you get paid in advance in your business, then you're going to have accounts receivable. All right. So if you are, for instance, building a house and your construction business, you're building a house, then you're going to get paid some money up front and some money after the house is completed, right? Similarly, on the material side of things, your suppliers, the accounts payable side of your business becomes really, really big and important. And the thing you've got to do in these businesses is mind the gap, right? The difference between accounts receivable and accounts payable. The timing difference, because timing is everything. If you're getting paid well after you have to pay your suppliers, you have a cash gap. And that cash gap can be very detrimental to your business. Back in the 90s, when Dell Computer was really growing, the cash gap for them was 63 days. That means between when they paid money out and when they got money in to pay that money was 63 days. And they were, the expression was coined, growing broke, right? The larger they got, the more cash they consumed. And it was becoming a huge problem for Michael Dell. And so he hired a fellow named, get it right here, Tom Meredith, that's right, as CFO. And Tom worked hard on reducing that cash gap. And he took that gap from 63 days to a negative 21 days. Now, what would it mean to have a negative cash gap in your business? It would mean, you would receive money for your computer if you're Dell 21 days before you had to pay for that computer. So you could receive the money, build the computer, and still have 21 days in cash. And so the more you grew, the more cash you got. And just that focus on minding the gap and eliminating the gap and flipping the gap to be negative allowed Michael Dell to take his business private. He generated the cash necessary to buy out all the investors in his business. That's pretty cool. He used his customers' money to buy back his business. So revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. Mind the gap between your accounts receivable and your accounts payable. Watch every dollar you spend, know where it is, know where it's going. Manage your inventory, manage your operating expenses, and most of all, drive throughput dollars up. Get the throughput of your business up. Grow the cash that your business is going. Make sure your growth is funded not by the bank, but by your clients, by minding the gap and shrinking your time between when you receive money and when you have to pay that money and flipping it around. So that brings us one last element for our business dashboard, and that's cash flow. You want to have positive cash flow. It's the most important measure in your business. If you don't have positive cash flow, you will not have a business for very long. There are lots of businesses that have been unprofitable for very long periods of time, Amazon being one of them, that despite the fact that they were not, quote, making a profit, they were generating cash. Cash is king. So protect your sanity, make sure you have profits. Don't worry about your vanity and how much revenue you have. Cash is king. Run your business, manage your cash. My name is Rick Phelps. I hope you've enjoyed the Understanding Your Economic Engine series of vlogs. I've certainly enjoyed putting it together. If you have any questions or comments or would like help implementing any of the ideas in your business, just give me a call. My number is 216-533-1387, and I can be reached via email at rickphelps@actioncoach.com. So have a safe and profitable day, and we hope to see you again in the near future.